we're gonna move into our next guy. They got 22 points, guys. We can all probably take a break at this moment and just let this be. It's gonna be about 10 minutes. We've been waiting for this several times. We've talked about this guy, and the Mountain has not been here, and he finally can get it all out.
I'm a little upset, guys. I'm a little upset. He only got 22 points. Are you serious?
Yeah, myself and Vitamin J didn't vote for it.
What? How's that possible?
I don't really hate Kyrie.
He went to Duke, Connor. Come on.
I just
That's
don't hate the guy.
part of it.
I don't hate the guy.
I don't hate the guy. I mean, I understand why he's hated. But again, most of yeah, he went to Duke.
He's single-handedly like one of the most annoying athletes in history.
He went to Duke. Jacob and I are also LeBron fans. Yeah, some things you just like, it is what it is.
So there are many reasons I can't stand Kyrie. This has to do with on the court and off the court. On the court, obviously, Kyrie can do so many things. He's a maestro with the ball in his hands. He's an amazing ball handler. He's an amazing finisher at the rim. He can do so many good things, but he doesn't lead the winning. He's not a winning player. Minus the second best player of all time, LeBron. He has never been a winner, no matter who he's with. And like I was looking up like win-loss records and whatnot, and so him and Damian Lillard have essentially the exact same win-loss record career-wise, right? But let me list off Kyrie's teammates: James Harden, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. And has Damian Lillard had anybody even close to that?
His best has been CJ McCollum.
Yeah. And you're telling me you can't win more games with those players? Kyrie without LeBron has a losing record.
I'm not surprised by that.
And, all this I'm saying is on the court stuff. Another reason I hate Kyrie is he is see how PC see how I put this.
He's fake smart.
He likes to think he's a smart man in the room, and he's an actual moron. Like he's an actual dummy. He thinks the Earth's flat, and then like another thing that annoys me is like recently he did this thing where like he was getting booed on the Mavs because they were losing. Shocker, because he's on the team, and he's like, well, these fans, they can just come. Why don't they just come on the court? They can't do what I do. They can't play. They don't know what it's like. Okay, Kyrie, well then you're not a damn doctor, so why don't you shut the hell up about vaccines and shit? You know what I mean?
Saying he's a hypocrite too?
Yes. Oh, I'm saying he's a hypocrite. It's just stuff like that, and then the whole anti-Semite thing, where he's like, "Oh, I'm not an anti-Semite," while he's actually posting fake Hitler quotes and stuff. And then he's like, and then his like excuse for it is like, "Well, I actually have Jewish people in my family." I mean, he did the white version of, "Oh, I can't be raised with my black friends."
Or he hit us with the George Santos, Hunter.
Yeah. And so it's just that thing after thing after thing, and then and then he bails on his team by taking pause and stuff like that. You just can't count on the guy. You can't do it.
I mean, you even saw it this year with the Mavs. They tanked when they got him. Absolutely tanked. I know we all know there's many reasons why it didn't work out, but it always seems that it never works out with Kyrie unless he's with LeBron.
It never does, yeah. And let's see. I pull up my numbers here.
And again, Hunter, that was the second best player of all time?
It's the second best player of all time, yes.
Yeah, see, I don't think I didn't hear that.
I don't think I didn't miss.
The goat and the boat.
Yeah. And so, like, even the Nets during their time with Kyrie, so they were 82-61 with Kyrie, not bad. And then 90-74 without him. So, very similar. Also has a very similar win percentage to point guards like Kyle Lowry and Mike Conley. Good guards, but no one you would ever consider to be like what people think Kyrie is. People are like, Kyrie's top 5 point guard of all time. He's not even close. Not even close.
He should be.
He should. Oh, he's if basketball is 1-on-1, he would be a top 10 player.
Yeah, of pure like handles, he's probably top 5.
If you just went offensively, yes, he is definitely going to be up there.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that's why I didn't understand like the Mavs trade. Like, why would you trade for Kyrie? I don't understand.
It's that and Kyrie and Luka were the same play, ball dominant guards. So it's like
guards who can't play defense.
Yeah, so it's like it was destined to fail. Like I
Yeah.
don't understand that trade at all.
Yeah, here it is. Kyrie without LeBron James is 236 to 252. So not good for someone who's supposed to be a transcendent point guard. No one else has a losing record like that. Now Kyrie's record overall is a winning record, but he only has like a 54% win percentage.
I get where the hate comes from Kyrie. He does not do himself any favors.
But
And even with, because I know even with the whole Boston thing, like how that ended up when he kind of started realizing, because he went at LeBron about his leadership, and then he tried to be a leader, and then found out, being a leader is not all it's cracked up to be.
And then I'm glad you mentioned that, because like him not being a leader, like when he wasn't even on the bench when they went to the conference finals in Boston because he was hurt, and he wasn't even on the bench. Like, how can you be a leader and you won't even show up for your team?
It's just all about him.
Yeah, I understand. He should never be the number one.
If he's your number one, you're screwed, dude.
But,
he'd be great one if he had AI's mentality. Put that man's head in Kyrie.
Yeah.
I will always appreciate him for that shot over Curry in Game 7. So
yeah, well, I mean, like again, no one has gone further in their career off of one shot. If he misses that shot, like Kyrie's career is a failure.
I mean, he had some pretty good games that series.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying.
No,
I'm not saying the guy can't play. He's an amazing player. You would never hear me say he's a bad player or like he can't play. That'd be ridiculous.
Just like we say, Hunter, it just never seems to work out for Kyrie. Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah, like when it's like when someone's like, oh yeah, I can't find the right guy. All the people I date are jerks. It's like, well, I don't know. You're the common denominator in all relationships, aren't you? Maybe it's you. Maybe you should look inward.
That's what it is with Kyrie.
Now, I will give Kyrie some props that I understand that he has donated some money to charities and whatnot, but I don't know. I feel like when you're rich, that's pretty easy. I'm sure Elon Musk does too, and he's a jerk too, right?
A lot of bad people have donated.
Yeah, I just don't want it to seem like I think Kyrie is all bad.
Yeah, no. You think he's a piece of trash? We got it.
If I were running an NBA team, he would be nowhere near it.
To be honest, that was a lot tamer than what I thought.
well, I'm trying to keep it, like PC, for the pod. If it was, like shooting off the cuff, I would go a little more harder. But
yeah. We'll go to number 4. It's another NBA player coming in with 23 points. Was voted on by everybody but myself and the Mountain. It is the king of the new media, Draymond from the Mountain. Also, the better than Dennis Rodman. You heard it.
No, get out of here.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
These nephews on Twitter, every single week, Dennis Rodman and Draymond debate happens, and these nephews keep saying Draymond. It's not even close.
They legit think Draymond's one of the, maybe even the best defensive player of all time.
What?
Oh, yeah.
My problem with Draymond is he thinks he is far better than what he actually is. Like, if he got drafted by the Timberwolves instead of, the Warriors, I don't know if people would still be talking about Draymond at this point.
Did he say he was better than Charles Barkley? Or was that the...
Did he?
No, he said he's better than because he said he has rings and Barkley doesn't have
Wow, get out of here. He's not even close.
He thinks he's better than Barkley.
Yes, and he's clearly so inferior to Barkley.
I will say, I think some of that was hyperbole because they were getting in that argument.
I don't know.
Draymond
says a lot of dumb things.
I mean, he says a lot of stuff, but I feel some of that was hyperbole. They got an argument. They've been on Inside the NBA. Now that he's been on Inside the NBA, I think they get along now. But yeah, I think if you asked him now, he'd be a lot more realistic about it.
Well, now I don't think he would say it, but I do think he would think it. It's this whole ring culture that modern NBA media is now. How many rings do you have?
But this is where I agree with Spencer Dinwiddie. For people like Draymond, rings don't matter. It's people like LeBron and Jordan where the rings actually start to matter. If you're not in the conversation for a GOAT, rings don't really matter. Like Robert Horry has 7. Has anyone ever going to put him near GOAT status?
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, I agree with Dinwiddie on that. Rings only matter if you're in the conversation for all-time great.
Well, I think they matter when you're comparing two people that are very like or have close careers. then kind of that elevates.
Well, yeah, it's fine. But like Draymond's saying he has 4
But
rings.
like in the grand scheme of things, no.
But then I got to think like whose team like Ben Wallace or Draymond. Draymond had
Ben
much better
Wallace.
team. Is Ben Wallace better defender?
Yes.
Then you got to think about that. Like who had? Because Draymond has 2 rings with Kevin Durant and Steph Curry as his 2 best players. And 2 other rings with Clay and Steph as his best players.
Draymond's so annoying. He drove Kevin Durant out.
It was a mistake on Draymond's part.
I honestly think the Warriors would be better without Draymond. If you get another big who can facilitate offense, which there are plenty now, because that's the modern NBA, I think they'd be better. Because Draymond's defense isn't nearly as good as it used to be.
I'll give
He's
you
an
that.
absolute zero factor on offense.
Yeah, imagine if he had any offensive game, how good the Warriors would be.
Like he is entering Rodman
Yeah.
territory with how awful he is on offense.
If you remember back to the Celtics, the finals last year, Celtics were leaving him open. They were like, "Go ahead, you can shoot that. We will dare you to shoot that, and if you make it, you make it." I mean, Game 6, I think Game 6 he made a couple, but
He
most of the
just
series,
scored
they're
double
like-
digits.
Yeah, they're like, "Go ahead, we will dare you. If that's how we lose, we lose."
Funny as it is, Dennis Rodman actually has a higher career high in points than Draymond in a game.
Because every now and then Dennis would surprise you with a high point game. Dennis Rodman
Yeah, well,
is
he had
by
a
far the better defender and obviously rebounding.
Oh, it's not even close.
No one, I think, touches Rodman in terms of rebounding with his size because he's undersized and he's still rebounded that great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, pound for pound. I mean, his
I
energy
think pound
is
for pound, he's the best
never
rebounder of all time. Besides, like
Yeah.
obviously not
No.
counting like Wilt or something. So.
Dennis Rodman has made way more threes than Ben Simmons has ever even attempted.
Wow.
Not surprised.
Wow. Dennis Rodman, of all people. Are you serious?
He made 82 3-pointers in his career.
Wow. And
What's
fucking
his
Ben
most,
Simmons won't even outshoot Rodman? Are
What's
you
his
kidding
most,
me?
What's the Rodman's most attempted in one season compared to Simmons?
101. 101.
Simmons' highest.
Wow.
Two.
It was 32 for 101.
I would say for me, for Draymond Green, is if you had probably asked me a couple years ago, I probably would have said he probably would have been on my list. But where I will defend him is I feel he was critical to the Warriors needed that dirty work guy, and he was going to be that. Because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are not going to be those dirty work guys. That's just not their style.
But
I feel every-
it's also going to hurt the team because you
It is, yeah, I was gonna say now it hurts, but I felt like when they were at their peak, especially like when they're at their peak, or those Durant teams, and even right before, the fact that he was kind of the hard nosed guy, because you always need at least one guy that's at least somewhat of an enforcer. Yeah, you need to have that, and I would say he was a better version of that. Because if we don't forget, he was actually pretty good because he was very well rounded, could facilitate. Was facilitated. I mean, could hit, Game 7, like we always say, get that Game 7 versus the Cavs. If it's not for Draymond, they would have gotten wiped off that face.
Yeah, he killed it.
They would have gotten destroyed. Draymond was the only reason that they stayed in that game. I think where he doesn't annoy me is because I could see him and Pat Beverly do a lot of the similar stuff, but at least Draymond has been a better player. And, I can say, yes, he is a Hall of Famer. Yes, he has heavily contributed to their championships. And yes, some of his opinions a little crazy. A couple of them, I see where he's trying to come from. Now, is he better than Dennis Rodman? Hell no. Do I think he's a really good defender? Prime? Yeah. I think he's a great defender. I mean, the Charles Barkley, that thing was also funny. The triple single, that was pretty cool, and that was hilarious. But I could also get why people don't like him. That's why he's not on my list, All right, we're going to go to number 3. Voted on everybody by everybody but the Mountain. This is a current player. We actually talked about him recently in NFL Worst NFL Picks. It is the golden boy that everybody thought was going to come and resurrect the Panthers. Okay, nobody really thought that, but Baker Mayfield.
He
thought so.
Probably me and Jacob.
Y'all think he's worth, you think he's, y'all hate him more than Kyrie? You kidding me?
I do.
Absolutely.
I can't stand Baker.
After what he made me witness.
Kyrie's at least good. Baker is has been way overrated by a lot of people. His inflated ego of yo, dude, I'm sorry, you're not that good. Cleveland
he won the Browns a playoff game.
Oh my god.
Cool.
This is the most overrated.
I skip.
What
I
did you do
skip.
after that? What did you do after
Kyrie-
that?
Okay, Kyrie rode a shot. This guy rode that playoff to no end. He had a great defense and a real good run game. I'm sorry, 95% of those, and he was versus a Steelers team that we all knew was past it. Ben Roethlisberger was done. We knew that team was overrated. They would have lost to a lot of people. Like I'm done with his Cleveland narrative. I can't stand his arrogance of like, dude, you're not that guy. You're not that. You're a Hall of Famer. You're not that good.
I'm glad you brought up that playoff thing because people always talk about it. How that means he's not bad. Like, no, he still freaking sucks because guess what? Mark Sanchez won 4 playoff games and he is awful. Okay, so that means nothing.
He did go to 2 AFC championships.
And the fact that Baker proceeded to follow that playoff win with absolutely nothing.
He's had more bad seasons than good.
Yep.
He's had 1 good year, 3 or 4 bad ones.
Did we mention that he sucks?
Jacob also loves the gifts that we find on.
Those gifts are
One
cringe.
of the cringiest things I've ever seen is watching those Baker Mayfield dancing gifts. Absolutely.
The only thing I will give him is his commercials were actually pretty funny, and he wasn't bad.
I agree.
He'd be a great commercial actor. Phil, he'd be a great commercial actor. That should be his career right there.
Yeah, honestly, he does good in his
really
commercials.
good there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. I like those. Somewhat made me like dislike him less.
But let's just say he's looked better in those commercials than he ever has on the field.
Yeah, honestly, if he went to acting, it would not surprise me.
Oh yeah, like he's got a strong.
It's too unpleasant for that to happen.
Jacob.
Oh
It's
man.
generally unpleasant. Baker's on what? The Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome to
Mike
watch.
Evans, streak over, baby. Streak is over.
Mike Evans might be being traded. I think they're exploring
That'll be
options for
another
that.
reason. Let's do this list again in a year so I can add that as my criticism when he doesn't get Mike Evans 1,000 yards.
Mike Evans needs to be one pushing for that. He needs to be in the room saying, "Get me the heck out of here!" Okay.
Mike Evans. If I'm Chris Godwin, I'm trying to get out of there. But
Yeah.
You're like,
I
this
know.
is the quarterback? Nah. Let's go.
So Chris Godwin is going to go to Mike Evans. Like, Mike, you can't get traded because if you leave, then that means I'm the number 1 receiver, and Baker can't play with number 1 receivers.
Yeah, can I be number 2?
Actually, see some passes that way. And
right.
another reason not like Baker is he caused all this Odell Beckham slander when Odell immediately leaving proved that he was not the problem.
When his father showed all those clips of like, no, Odell was wide open. He just missed it. He didn't even look his way.
Well, and then we saw how DJ Moore did with him. So
Oh man. All right. We're gonna go into our number 2. Should come as no surprise, but I know why you all hate this person, and it's not for the other reasons. It's because of just how great he is. It is coming in with 27 points. Everybody but myself and Max didn't vote for this guy. It is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
I've hated this man as long as I've been watching football.
Yeah, so I had to put him on the list.
I know. He's caused you all nightmares. I know.
He stole my childhood from me.
if they didn't tamper with the footballs, the Eagles would have won that one in 2005.
Exactly. Thank you.
And I'm convinced they'll film Panthers signals too.
Absolutely, they were. Well, we all wouldn't.
Yeah.
Bobby, they stole it from the Jets, and the Jets weren't even good. So, I mean, of course they're going to steal it from teams that are doing
what's
well.
the PSI of those balls?
Flat.
I wish I could go into the bull crap of Deflategate and just
Look, it was you just can't tamper with the balls. You just can't do it.
Fellas, we also
falsehoods that were promoted on that, and the fact ESPN had to send articles of "Hey, we lied." It was not nearly as many balls as we all said. However, it was one that was heavily. The rest of them were barely, which could have happened because But I'm not even going to go into it. Whatever.
Guys, not only has he cheated pretty much throughout his whole career, we can agree with that, right? His whole legacy got started based off a bullcrap call.
Oh no!
Yeah, the tuck rule. Yeah.
It's a rule. Hey, don't blame the rule.
Nah, they made that rule up on the spot.
And Max, can we talk about how he left his baby mama before she even gave birth to her?
We didn't even get there yet.
Football penalty cheats off of that as well.
All right. First of all,
Good guy. Great guy.
First of all, let's go into the referee with referees these days and how bad they are. It's good to know one of them knows the handbook and knows exactly a section of a rule called tuck rule and was able to correctly
he incorrectly called it. That wasn't even what the tuck rule is.
Yeah, this is good. This is one.
That wasn't even a tuck. It was a straight up fumble. That was a straight up fumble, dude.
Pump fake and then the ball was there. That's not no damn tuck. The tuck rule is if you Phil, you don't. You will shut up. You will shut up. You will pump fake and then he got hit and fumbled because that was a fumble. Fumble.
I think Brady even admitted it was a fumble, but
nah, it was tuck. It was tuck.
Fumble.
The only thing tucked was that ref's wallet after they get Bill gave him that wallet of cash.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed the Patriots to get there after 9/11. They had to have the Patriots in there.
Who sits there and literally thinks that hard about whatever?
Oh, the internet finds a way.
Yeah. Don't you doubt it.
It just shows how much some people have too much time.
Look, I'm just glad the NFL script writers did not let Tom Brady go out with a victory at the Super Bowl. I'm just glad the script writers did not do that.
And can we all admit he's had plastic surgery?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Oh man, it's a lot divorce takes a lot from you. Kind of just restructures everything. Yes. This season will be very weird not to see him on.
It'd be very pleasant. It'd be very pleasant. And look, for the NFL already found the next golden boy in Pat Mahomes, so it's only a matter of time for he gets 7.
He could not win. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I don't want him to win either. Actually, not that I don't like him. I just want someone else to win.
Yeah, he's already won 2. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
And he's already better than Brady.
Okay,
already.
Skills wise, yes. More talented than Brady, yes. 100%. I will back up. I even said it before. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest NFL talent we've ever seen at quarterback.
But not down, Peyton and him, and Tom Brady. Or
in terms of controlling the game, you would say.
Yeah. But I'm going to say straight talent of arm strength, ability to run, ability to throw off the run, accuracy. The stuff they can do is ridiculous. I will give them that. Now, what I think people need to calm down on is this whole, he's going to win 5 Super Bowls. Yo, dude, hard to win Super Bowls. It's really hard.
That's another thing I hate Brady for, folks. He's greedy. Let someone else win for once. Why do you need 7? That's absolutely absurd.
And 2 of them he shouldn't have because one, the Falcons blew a lead, and then the Seattle made the worst play call in Super Bowl history.
Shout out to my boy Brady. Enjoy retirement, buddy. And we'll see you on Fox next year. 2024. Seeing you on Fox, buddy.
I thought, he's finally out of my life, and then he wants to show up on TV some more.
He might be less annoying than Romo, though.
I mean, look, Phil, what's next? Him and Matt Stafford do play-by-play together? That's my personal hell.
Let's go into our honorable mentions. I'll go ahead with one. This guy was voted on solely by me. We just mentioned him. It's Aaron Rodgers. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Not a fan. My issue with him is I feel he never takes accountability for any of his team's failures. And yes, I get he's great. I get most of the times not. But there's a point where you got to take a little bit of accountability. I don't think he's a good leader. I really just cannot. I think he also is one that thinks he's the smartest person in the room, and he's really not.
Yeah, he's NFL's Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, they're very similar.
Just Rodgers hasn't posted hate speech yet.
Yeah.
He's smart enough.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
And I also think it's funny how the parallels between him and Brett Favre at this later stages in their career is kind of starting to match up.
Yeah, Minnesota needs to prepare next year. Aaron Rodgers on the squad.
I'll give Aaron Rodgers his touchdown interception ratio is absolutely insane.
It is absurd.
We're going to go into another one. This is voted on by Max. Not surprising. It is Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, I thought about putting him in there.
I completely forgot about him.
Because, I mean, he's in this very similar vein as Ryan Braun, where he was, going after the people who were, said he was positive for doping and whatnot. But, I don't know, it's kind of waffling because, I was like, he did so much for this cancer research and all this stuff. So I was like,
the reason I didn't put him was because I was like, he was the only reason anybody ever cared about Tour de France.
Yeah. Well, and then not to mention that, what was it if you had to go to the last person who didn't dope, with the 20th something place would have won or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like, everybody does it.
Yeah. I'm assuming that you wanted my opinion since I put Lance Armstrong on my list.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. That's typically how these go.
It's simply just because he could have been a great inspiration to many who battle with cancer, and he lied to everyone and profited off his fake image. So I just think he's a despicable person for doing that.
What I'm most mad about, however, is that he ruined the ending the dodgeball. Now it doesn't hit the same.
The whole time you're like, look at this lion mother.
Yeah,
I'll never wear a wristband again.
Yeah, so he ruined that movie for me. Thanks a lot, Lance Armstrong.
We're gonna go into one that the Mountain voted for. Former Duke player, known for saying this, how much he hates this guy. It is Greg Paulus.
Dude, I couldn't stand his ass in college, dude. But in fact, the highlight of his career for me at Duke was when he got dunked on and nuts in his face twice. That was just chef kiss. Oh my god. I don't know. I just found him extremely annoying at Duke. I mean, and it helps, because nowadays I don't really hate Duke players as much because they just leave all the time. But he stayed at least 3 years, 4 years,
He played
and so you really got a chance to hate him.
I mean, he should have just done football.
Broke McNabb's record, am I right?
Yeah, broke a McNabb record. Yes, you sure did. I can't remember what it was. Completion percentage or something.
Completion percentage, I think.
Yeah.
What'd that do for him? What'd that do for him? Nothing.
He's the head coach of Niagara Purple Eagles. Thank you very much.
Of course, he wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I said quick. Hey, he was quick with it too.
I know, right? He didn't have to look that at all. He knew that from the heart.
He had his
He even knew the
pocket,
animal.
Yeah.
waiting for the day. Waiting for the day he can use that in his back pocket. We're gonna go into one of D3's a surprising one. Devin Booker.
Really, I don't hate him that much. I do find some of the things he does annoying, but
He's just annoying on the court. He's a big whiner, complainer, and pretty much
you can say that about a lot of players.
That's a lot of players.
Every time you complain about getting double teaming in a practice, I mean, come on, man. You're a superstar. You're gonna get a double. Don't want to complain about that. And then his whole back and forth with Doncic in the playoffs last year. Just don't talk trash unless you can back it up. He did not back it up in that Game 7.
And one from Vitamin J's, because he just could not resist a moment to take a shot at AEW, the Young Bucks. Yes.
You put a wrestler on here?
I had to.
Did you put wrestler?
I thought it was so funny when I saw it.
I cannot stand him.
That's how much.
Clearly. Clearly.
Every match is the same.
I mean, they're technically athletes.
And they don't look physically appealing, if we're being honest.
Jacob, you're not telling us anything we don't know.
The Usos are by far the more superior tag team. It's not even close.
Jacob, I'll have to agree with you. And you know how you used to feel about the Usos.
We're going to hit another one of mine just because I have to talk about it. This guy would probably have been higher on my list if you had asked me years ago. Sasha Vujacic. You talk about punchable faces. I cannot. I still, when I saw it, I had to put him on the list. I can't stand this dude. One of those people. No, we didn't. There was a curse word that used to be put in that. If you all could probably figure out what Sasha Vujacic, what we used to call him, just really brought in some disdain. And I'm not a violent person.
But I would have punched him in the face.
I didn't want to punch him in the face. I'm sorry. This one was voted on by both Max and the Mountain. He is known for his undefeated streak because you can't hit what you can't see. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Man, talk about a despicable
Floyd.
Talk about a despicable human being.
Yeah, I love how we sweep his history over the rug. Was for other people, we kind of bring it to the forefront. And he is a smart boxer. He's the
for sure, boxer.
He knows, but I think he games the system. Oh,
100%.
I was gonna say he changed boxing, I think, in that regard, because now a lot of boxers do just that. They chase the points, and then they basically they just go stat padding, and then you just kind of go to a decision.
Yeah, which doesn't make for really great fights.
And I do think he dug Pacquiao until Pacquiao got old.
I would agree.
There are reasons that
he also should have fought Canelo near the end, but he knew he would have lost that rematch.
Yeah. I mean, I think for him, at least with the Pacquiao, if he really did believe he was doping, he probably was not going to try and risk all that.
For a while, but still,
I think he was ducking him. Yes, I will 100% agree. He was ducking him because he was worried about his record. All right, we're going to go into our number one. It was voted on by everybody.
I feel like I already know who this is.
Growing up, especially in high school, we all couldn't stand this guy the same. Luckily, we really haven't had to deal with him in many years.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Because, he was known for just, God, you talk about punchable faces, too. Coming in with 40 points, it is Tyler Hansbrough.
Ooh, I hated that dude.
He was
like such a tough guy, too. And then he goes to the NBA, and he gets absolutely bitched by...
Uncle Runner Test.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry, Ron.
Yeah, it's like
I bet you are.
You don't want them problems, man. Everybody thinks they're a real gangster until a gangster walks in a room. All right.
Yeah.
It's one thing I know about Tyler Hansbrough, especially in college and NBA. The way he played, he never had control of his body, and it just looked very aesthetically unpleasing to watch Tyler Hansbrough play.
Every call,
and they got all the damn calls. Flailing like a dang fish.
UNC fans, if you talk to UNC fans, a lot of them think they don't get calls. I'm like, as Duke and Carolina fans,
come on.
You can never complain about refs. Duke and Carolina fans can never complain about refs.
No, at all. I don't ever want to hear it.
I always remember this one moment. My brother Paul was like, guys, I know we crack on Tyler Hansbrough a lot, but he's really not that bad. He doesn't do that many stupid, goofy things as we all think. And then he makes that shot, and remember his dumb run down like that. And then my brother's like, never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
Everything I just said, I can't stand this dude and everything about it. And I remember when Gerald Anderson hit him in the face.
Elbow.
He got that bloody nose, and then 20 minutes later, he's trying to fight him. It's like, yo, dude, it's 20 minutes later. You can't try and fight this dude now. That's not how it works.
Oh, and then, of course, I loved hearing that story, the John Wall story. That totally sounds exactly like something Hansbrough would do. Yeah, John Wall went to take a visit on campus, and he tried to talk, and John Wall tried to talk to Hansbrough, and Hansbrough said he doesn't talk to recruits.
How that worked out?
Says that didn't happen, but why would John Wall make that up?
I wonder if that's the reason he didn't go there. If that is, thanks, Tyler.
John Wall said that was one of the reasons why he didn't go. And it's irritating because one of the only few times since I've watched basketball that Carolina truly dominated Duke was when Hansbrough was there. But before and after, pretty much Duke's kind of won more often than lost.
And if you want to know, Tyler Hansbrough averaged 8.7 free throws a game at UNC.
Is that a lot?
For college, probably, yeah.
So that's a lot for NBA too.
He ended up having a good career. Great career, capped it off with a championship.
Yeah.
But he has such an inflated ego about himself, even currently.
Mm-hmm. And the media, every game they were just gushing all over him. Like Collinsworth with Tom Brady every game.
Yeah, but that's Brady though. Brady has 7 rings.
Right, I'm just saying the slurp is the same.
Just annoying player. God, the day he left, I was like, thank God, because I knew once he went to the NBA, we weren't really going to hear. Yeah. I was like, he was a bench player at best because he's undersized. He can't play center. He's undersized. He was 6'8", undersized power forward, and the way the game was going, he wasn't big enough to dominate down low. He couldn't really shoot.
And he got in there before they started awarding flailing. Like we know James Harden.
Yeah. And he freaking traveled all the time.
I know he did.
Traveled all the freaking time.
First NBA career, 6.7 points, 4.2 rebounds. No, not good.
All right, so there goes our list for most hated athletes. Do you agree with our list? Are there some names you thought we missed? Are you upset there was somebody on there that should have made it? Do you also agree with Hunter's hatred for Kyrie Irving? Let us know in the comments below. Again, like, share, subscribe. My name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Jay.
And Hunter.
Discussions begin.